Hello. Today we're going to look at some basic reactivity with Ember. Here I have a new app spun up. I installed the Ember Simple Set Helper, which is my go-to. And yeah, I just want to show you track properties a little bit, see how those work. And yeah, let's get started. So let me spin up a new console here. And we'll just create a quick form. We'll call my form. And it skipped the class, but we want that, so let me just copy that and run that as well. Okay, so we have everything we need now. So it's all in here in the components folder, as you can see. I just want to, today I think I want to use, actually, yeah, we can save this for a different video, but, so let me add my form in here. Give that a go. Okay, it's empty, perfect. We'll add an input in here. And let's see here. Blur. So basically, we want, when the person stops typing, we want to update something. So let's call an action. We'll just call update. Okay. Let's wrap that in a label. And call that name. Okay. Looks good. We just need to add our action here. So call that update. And we'll get an event. And so let me just import this. And let's see here. So we'll, in our form, we want to, we'll write down, let's do like a HR here. And then we'll do this .name. So at the moment, that's nothing. If we go in here, we can define name. We'll make that a blank string. And then in our input here, we'll update that. So this .name equals event .target value. Okay, so if I type it in here, click here, so nothing happens. This is because we have a marked name as being tracked, and tracked is Octane's new primitive for reactivity. When you define variables inside of a class, a component class here, you have to mark them as being reactive. And so like when they change, then the template will change, or anything that is dependent on them. So let's do that. Add tracked and import that. Usually it works, but it seems not. Something's wrong with my VS Code. Okay. So I need to enable terminal decorators. For some reason, that hasn't been thought that was a thing that was included before, but now it doesn't seem to be to me. And what did it say? Options, and then true. And we start TypeScript server. It's initializing down here. Give that a second. Okay, the errors are gone. That was very weird. I mean, I thought that was a default thing, but I guess not. At least not in my case. I need to update my Ember CLI. So now, we save that, and now if we update this and click outside, we'll have it updates. And so we can change this to on input. So it'll update as we're typing. So now that's reactive. The nice thing about tracked is that you only mark the thing that, like the source. And before Ember Octane, there was something called computed properties, and you would have to mark every derived state as computed, and you would say that it was dependent on something else. So like in old school, we would have to do in classic syntax name and get hello, and we do right. And let me add, you can, because you can mix and match these. So let me actually, so this, so if I do that, period. Yeah, see, it tells me don't use, there's an ESLint rule that tells me not to use tracked and not use computed. So this is the old way of doing things. And if I add hello here, and so it says hello right now because, I mean, there's no name, it just says hello. I'll type in my name, so that works. But it gets pretty involved, because then you have to do this everywhere. So everywhere you derive from name, you would have to say it's computed, and then sometimes you depend on multiple things. So you have email or whatever, right? So then it gets pretty big, and you have to make sure you don't forget to add that. So you don't really have to do that anymore. With tracked, you can just do that, right? Let me just remove that, and I can type in my name, and it automatically updates. So that's really cool. You have no boilerplate to set up, and you just use just native ES getters to do that. And yeah, so that's kind of, those are like the basics of tracked and reactivity in Ember Octane. We can get into more detailed. We can just kind of, so let me do. So the basics really, they let you do kind of primitive values. If you do, so if we change this to like names, right, and make this an array, and then names join, and just do that here. Names push, right? So like you would expect. Okay, so hello. We'll probably want to do this on blur because we don't want to add every letter. Okay, and okay, so it's not, so nothing's happening there. If we open up DevTools, Just go up there to the bottom here. Close that. And gonna hit Command P here and find on my form. That's good. Let's see our template here. Here's our code. So put a debugger there, and let's see if it actually, yeah, so it fires, and then, I mean, all that's good. Push, all that works, but the template doesn't update. So the reactivity model does not handle nested state like that. There are a few add-ons which I'll definitely be creating another video to show you how to use those for advanced scenarios. But what you would do is you would just recreate, you would just reset the array, right? So, and that way you're actually changing the value. So at the core, it's just like if the value changes, then re-render. And so in an array case, you're pushing, so it's not, the thing itself is not changing. It's still the same array, you're just adding more data to it. So in this case, we want to do, so we want to spread the array on there and then add our new value to the end. So now if I do, so it fires, there's my name, and another name, and yeah, so that works. Same thing for objects. So if we had an object, and we would have to do the same thing, we would have to set the object again. And this is pretty easy with like the spread operator. It's not too involved. I would say generally you want to just do this. Generally nested state is, or reactive nested state is not the best idea, which is why I'm not showing that in this video and how to use some of those add-ons. But there are tools out there that are that work really well. So I mean that's really the basics of that. Yeah, so I mean, I hope that was useful for you, and if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. And I'll definitely be making a video about those other add-ons that handle different other use cases for reactivity. Yeah, so look out for that as well. You take care. Bye.